Okay, everybody quiet. Actually, this is going on YouTube. So quiet. Push! Actually, don't worry, I'll end it. So God's love is, what do we say? Unconditional. Alright, so Jeremiah chapter 31 verse 3. Jeremiah chapter 31 verse 3 says, please share with somebody next to you. Yes, I have loved you with an everlasting love. And Amharic, Ermias, ትንቢተ ኤርምያስ ምዕራፍ 31 ቁጥር 3 ትንቢተ ኤርምያስ ምዕራፍ 31 ቁጥር 3 Guys, quiet please. በዘላለም ፍቅር ወድጄሃለሁ በአማርኛ በዘላለም ፍቅር ወድጄሃለሁ All right. What is the best example of unconditional love? You guys can give me. It's hard to understand that, right? It's hard to understand unconditional love. Because human love is not like unconditional love. But there is usually like one person in our lives, for most of us, that would love us unconditionally. Who's that?
Mommy, daddy.
Our parents. Typically, like mothers. Like the mother's love for her child, most of the time, tends to be unconditional. Alright? Most of the time tends to be unconditional. Do you guys know the Columbine massacre that happened a long time ago?
The mom?
Yeah. Yeah, so did you guys see the mom talking one time?
No,
So let me tell you guys, the mom of the kids who shot and killed like all these middle schoolers was giving a presentation, so I heard her present. And she was, first she did like say, my sons did horrible things, and I am sorry for the pain that my sons caused to the world. Like she was very apologetic, but then like later on, she was saying that like how it was painful for her to lose her children, and she still loved her son who committed all these crimes. You know, like it was hard for her to see her kid as a monster, even though his acts were monstrous. But for her, he was still the son that she raised. She still like raised that kid, you know, fed that kid, breastfed him, and you know, changed his diaper and saw him do his first walk. You know, heard him do his first like. So for her, that kid was still not someone she could hate. And most parents are like that. I mean, that kind of extreme is a different story, but most of our parents love us no matter what we do. And that's kind of how God's love works. It's unconditional. Alright, no matter what we do, He still continues to love us. Alright, question.
So like hidden lives,
God does love you. Alright, remember, we said God's love is not dependent on the person. It's dependent on Him Himself because He's love. Now, we're going to talk about God's justice. Alright, now this is why we're talking about it one thing at a time. But it's important to start with God's love because when we talk about God has justice, alright, He's a fair judge. But it's always important to remember when we talk about God's justice that it is in context of His love as well. Alright, any questions about that? Alright, so now imagine how much love God's is compared to like our parents or other people that might love us. The third characteristic, so God's love is unchangeable. God's love is unconditional. The third one, which a lot of people don't think about, but I want you guys to start thinking about, is God's love is undeserved. Alright? God's love is undeserved. God's love is undeserved.
Does that mean like it's too good to be true? Like you could be the worst person, but you still get love?
Sort of. What it means, just in broad context, is you never are good enough to earn God's love. So, like, you know, we say we're like, well, we come to church and do good things, and He loves us, and we do earn God's love. But then there's ISIS and murderers and thieves. How can we love them? That's crazy. Wow, God is amazing. But we have earned. We must have earned. But the point is, no one is like the unconditional is for the bad people. No matter how bad you are, God loves you. The undeserved is for the people that are good, that come to church and are Christians, right? No matter how good you are, you never deserve God's love. You never actually earn it. That's what I'm trying to say. You never have done enough things to say, I now earn God's love. Alright, it's something that He gives to you for free. Not because of what you've done. Okay, Baba? Does that make sense? Alright? Alright. Now some people, you will hear some people say, and I'm not talking about, you will hear some people say things like, I'm not worthy of God's love, and so I'm not going to take communion. Or there's so many things, so many sins, and so I'm not going to come to church because I've already gone too far away from God. Alright? Those attitudes, that's not what I'm talking about. Because that's despair and losing hope in God's love. That's not what I'm talking about. So when we talk about undeserved, I'm not trying to get you guys to be like to lose hope and despair in your ability to do good things. It's more to be thankful and to appreciate God. That's the idea. That's me. All right, Ishim. So again, saying that I'm not worthy of God's love, so I'm not going to go to church and I'm not going to do X, Y, and Z, that's despair. God does not love that. At the same time, I am worthy of God's love is pride. Alright, not being humble, and God does not love that either. So there are two things here to keep in mind and to balance. Alright? So, who knows the story of the prodigal son? The prodigal son. You guys know? Oh, there. Yeah, I found it. Oh. No. Okay guys, listen. This is a story found in Luke chapter 15. Alright, Luke chapter 15. Alright, the story of the prodigal son. This is a story that Jesus Christ tells the disciples to illustrate God's love. The story goes like this. There is a dad who has two sons. Yes, chapter 15. Yeah, so it's kind of, it's if you want to specific, it's 11 to 30, so it's like a long. I'm just summarizing the story. Lucas.
The timer went off.
Jesus went around and she told stories.
Yeah, taught using stories. Oh, I know. No,
Should
they're
I add
allegorical. They're example stories to teach a lesson. Some of them were that he references the Old Testament, but yeah, no, a lot of the stories, like the one I'm about to tell you, I didn't actually happen, but it was an example story to illustrate God's love. Yeah, Luke chapter 15.
Yeah, Shad.
Give me 5 minutes. Okay, thank you, Abe. Alright, the story goes like this. A dad who's very rich. Alright, I think he might even be a king. Has two sons. Alright? One son says, you know what? I want my inheritance right now. I want my inheritance right now so I can get out of here and live my life. Alright? I want my inheritance right now and I want to live my life. What's wrong with that? In Jewish culture, if a son asks for his inheritance, that usually, like, when do parents give kids their inheritance? When they die. So he's basically saying, like, I want to live without you, like, as if you're dead. Because I want money that you're going to leave to me when you die. I want it right now, and I want to live my life. What did the father say? The father said, if that's what you want, that's fine. So he gave him his inheritance, and he said, good luck. And, you know, and then the son left. The son left, and what happened? He had all this money, and he wasted it. Right? He wasted it and spent it on unnecessary things, and then he got so poor. Alright, he was hired as in a farm to take care of some pigs. And when the pigs would eat, like he was at one point he got so hungry and so poor, he would want to share the food of the pigs. Like he was that hungry and starving. And then at one point he realizes, I can still go back to my dad and I can still ask for forgiveness. And I'm sure my dad will accept me. Alright, so he goes back to his dad after like spending all his dad's money and being disrespectful and saying, I wish you were dead to his dad. right? And then spent all his money and then got so poor and all of those problems in his life. And then he comes back to his son. And the part of the story I love is like when the dad sees his son coming, he doesn't even wait for his son to apologize. When he sees his son coming like around the neighborhood, his dad tells his staff to throw a big party. He's like, throw a big party because my son has returned. It's a celebration. Alright, actually there's a part, and then this goes on, like the older son is like, wait a minute, I've been like, and the older son was like the good son, right? It's like, I've been great, I've been good, and I've been here, and I've never had a party. And he's like, yeah, you've been here, and that's great. But like, my son who was lost has now returned. It's time to celebrate, to be happy. Alright, so that's how God is with us. Alright, if we say, I don't want you in my life, alright, I don't want you in my life, He will not force Himself upon us. But He's not going to say, like, the dad was never like, I'm not going to give you the money, you're not going to go in. He was not like that. He was like, sure, if that's what you want, you can have that. When the son came back, though, the dad was not angry. He was happy that the son came back. That's how He is with us. When we finally say we want to get our spiritual lives on track and be better, you know, and with our prayer life, and come to church more, and take communion more, and things like that, God is ready to throw a party. Very excited for us to come back. Alright? Okay, does that make sense? That's actually one of my favorite stories in the Bible. Alright? So, how can we experience or understand God's love more? Alright, keep in mind, I heard this one time, that God's love is like the ocean. And what people try to do to understand God's love is they take a little cup, like the one that's covered in the top, and they try to like drink from the ocean, like God's love. That's not how you get the best experience of God's love. You gotta jump in. You gotta immerse yourself in the ocean, and in order to experience God's love to the fullest extent. Alright? Number one, practical steps you can do. Alright? To be connected with God more. Number one is fill your mind with the truth about God's love. Number one, these are action items, things you can do. Alright? Fill your mind with truth about God's love. Are you guys writing this down? Number one, fill your mind with the truth about God's love. Okay? Fill your mind with the truth about God's love. ስለ እግዚአብሔር ፍቅር አእምሯችንን አስተሳሰባችንን የእግዚአብሔርን ፍቅር ለመማር እግዚአብሔርን ፍቅር እውነታነት ለመማር እንጣር. Alright? Fill your mind with the truth about God's love. How can we do that? We can read the Bible. Huh? Yeah, we can spend time with God. Yeah, but this is more like how can we fill ourselves. And that's by learning and knowing God. Alright, a lot of us, what do I say a lot of times in our text messages? I'm like, y'all don't know God. That's what I say. Right? Know God. Get to know Him. What's wrong?
Me?
I'm watching. I'm paying attention.
There was tape on his ear.
Thank you for helping. I'm finishing. I got wrong. No. Okay, stop. That's all. Alright, does that make sense? The first one, fill yourself with the truth about God's love by reading the Bible and by spending time with God. Alright, number two. Stop, guys. Number two is refuse. Okay, number two is refuse cheap substitutes. Alright, refuse cheap substitutes. What do I mean by that? Cheap. Oh, the opposite of expensive. I can't pronounce that one. Refuse cheap substitutes. The opposite of expensive. What does that mean? What are substitutes? Something to replace. A lot of us, remember we talked about this last week? There's a universal need to be loved. We always want to be loved. Alright, and we always want to find love. A lot of people try to find love first from the world. Alright? An important verse. 1 John chapter 2 verse 15. Actually, I'm going to give homework because of time. I'm going to choose one person to read this verse and explain it to us next week. You're looking at me like 1 John chapter 2 verse 15. Alright, you're going to read that for us. 1 John chapter 2 verse 15. Alright, if we have too many substitutes, it's kind of like food, right? If you, let's say there's a really, really good dinner coming up that you're very excited about, your favorite food. Alright, whatever that is. The sheep for me is Doroid. Yeah, that's my favorite. Doroid. Alright, so just have for breakfast. Alright. Abed, what's your favorite food?
Not Doro.
What is it?
I don't really have one.
You must not have like good Doroids. You must be having like tomato paste Doroids. You need to go to Tokyo and have good Doroids.
I mean, I like it.
Anyways, listen. So then, but then imagine like right before that you eat something that it does not taste good. You just fill up your stomach with like bread or something. Alright? I do that all, I know. The point is, that's what happens though with us a lot of times. We fill ourselves with substitutes and then we don't have enough mind space to learn more about God. Does that make sense? The last thing, so fill your mind with the truth about God's love. Refuse substitutes. I'm not going to say the word. And 3 is give that love away. Alright, give that love away. I want you guys to write. So it's fill, refuse, and give. Alright, the 3rd thing is give that love away. Alright, we were given a lot of love by God. And God